Sean had to take responsibility for what he did as an individual. Sean is the one who pulled that gun out. Sean is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that.
I want to start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it. It's long. Where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this point?
The story shaking up the entertainment world right now is nothing short of explosive. Two of the most influential figures in hip-hop, Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs, are facing allegations that have not only rocked their careers, but also their reputations. It all began with a lawsuit filed in October targeting Combs, but things took a shocking turn when Jay-Z was added as a co-defendant. This isn't just a case about accusations. It's a saga involving high-profile lawyers, personal attacks, and a web of conflicting stories that has the public glued to every new development.
And we do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy.
Let's break this down, starting with the amended lawsuit. The accuser, known only as Jane Doe, alleges that in 2000, when she was just a teenager, she was transported to an after-party following the MTV Video Music Awards. There, she claims, she encountered both Combs and Jay-Z in circumstances that have since led to these explosive accusations. But here's where the twists begin. Jay-Z's legal team, led by his high-powered attorney Alex Spiro, has come out swinging, calling the allegations utterly false, and accusing the plaintiff's lawyer, Tony Busby, of orchestrating what they describe as a shakedown to extract money from celebrities at any cost.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
Spiro hasn't held back in his defense of Jay-Z. In fact, he's been aggressively dismantling Jane Doe's claims, pointing to what he describes as glaring inconsistencies. For example, the accuser alleged that she watched the awards show on a large screen outside Radio City Music Hall before being taken to a party. However, Spiro has countered this by stating that no such screen existed at that year's event, a detail seemingly confirmed by event permits and photographic evidence. Furthermore, she claimed to have been driven to a lavish estate with a U-shaped driveway within 20 minutes of Manhattan, but Spiro has argued that such a property doesn't appear to exist in the described location. He's even gone as far as to highlight logistical impossibilities, suggesting that the timeline she provided simply doesn't add up. Adding another layer to the controversy, Spiro points out that Jane Doe's father, who she claims picked her up from a gas station after the alleged incident, has denied remembering such a trip. He reportedly told investigators that he doesn't recall driving 5 hours to New York City and back that night. These details, according to Jay-Z's legal team, completely undermine the credibility of the claims.
In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?"
But it isn't just the accuser's story that's under scrutiny. The lawsuit itself has sparked intense debate over the motivations of her attorney, Tony Busby, who has built a reputation as a high-profile, combative lawyer. Busby, who is representing over 150 individuals in similar cases against Combs, has been labeled a publicity seeker by Jay-Z's camp. They've accused him of using the media to sensationalize his cases, with Jay-Z himself calling Busby's tactics an attempt to blackmail him into setting. This isn't the first time Busby has found himself at the center of controversy. Known for his brash courtroom demeanor and headline-grabbing lawsuits, his involvement has added fuel to an already blazing fire. In response to these allegations, Jay-Z hasn't shied away from addressing the public directly. In a lengthy statement, he described the claims as heinous and urged the accuser to file a formal criminal complaint if her allegations were true, rather than pursuing a civil lawsuit. He questioned the motives behind seeking financial compensation instead of justice, stating whoever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? He also expressed heartbreak over the impact this case has had on his family, particularly his children, and vowed to fight the allegations with everything he has.
He, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down her.
The drama doesn't end there. Judge Annalisa Torres, who is presiding over the case, has also entered the spotlight. She recently ruled that Jane Doe could proceed anonymously, at least for now, citing the sensitive nature of the allegations. However, she left the door open for her identity to be revealed if the case moves forward, a decision that could drastically shift the dynamics of this legal battle. Torres didn't mince words when addressing Spiro's legal tactics either, criticizing him for filing what she described as combative motions filled with inflammatory language and personal attacks on Busby. This judicial rebuke has only added to the tension, with both sides accusing each other of wasting court resources while ramping up their public relations strategies.
And that's not the first time we've seen this tactic, and the last time it actually worked.
Meanwhile, Combs, who is already facing a mountain of legal troubles, continues to deny all allegations against him. His legal team has dismissed the lawsuits as shameless publicity stunts designed to tarnish his reputation and extort money from him. Combs is currently behind bars awaiting trial on unrelated charges, including racketeering and trafficking, leaving Jay-Z to face the brunt of the media storm alone. The two men, once celebrated as hip-hop royalty, are now embroiled in a legal and public relations nightmare that has brought their decades-long friendship into question. Adding to the intrigue are the comments of Gene Deal, Combs' former bodyguard, who has been vocal about his ex-boss's alleged misdeeds. Deal's allegations, though unrelated to the current case, paint a troubling picture of the music mogul's past. From bizarre rituals to wild parties, Deal's stories have added an unsettling dimension to the public's perception of Combs. He's even hinted at a culture of secrecy and complicity within the industry, suggesting that what's coming to light now is just the tip of the iceberg.
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he had to, he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
But let's not lose sight of the central figure in this drama, Jay-Z. Known for his calculated and low-key public persona, he now finds himself in an unwelcome spotlight. His team is betting big on disproving Jane Doe's allegations with cold, hard facts. But the court of public opinion operates on a different set of rules. Every statement, every piece of evidence, and every misstep is being scrutinized by a public eager for answers. Even Beyonce, Jay-Z's wife, has reportedly thrown her support behind him, though she has remained silent publicly. Insiders suggest that she believes in her husband's innocence and is standing by him as the storm unfolds. As the case moves forward, one of the biggest questions remains: how will this impact Jay-Z's legacy? With a career spanning decades and a reputation as one of the most successful and influential artists in the world, these allegations threaten to overshadow everything he's built. And while his legal team works to clear his name, the public is left to grapple with the question of whether these accusations are part of a larger pattern or, as Jay-Z claims, a baseless attempt to tarnish his reputation.
Now, with respect to the evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right? More than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in distress.
The stakes couldn't be higher. For Jay-Z, this isn't just about fighting a lawsuit. It's about protecting his family, his career, and his legacy. For Jane Doe, it's about seeking justice and holding powerful figures accountable. And for the public, it's about trying to separate fact from fiction in a case that has become a media spectacle. As new details emerge and both sides dig in their heels, one thing is clear: this story is far from over.
Civil complaint, simply allegations, needs to be proven in a court of law, but if true, it could rise to the level of criminality, and, we'll see what happens or if the DA looks and investigates.
So the plot thickens. While Jay-Z's legal team is busy dismantling the accusations, the cultural conversation surrounding these allegations is spiraling into something much bigger than just a court case. People are divided, some standing firmly behind the rap mogul, others questioning how someone with such a carefully curated image could end up embroiled in a situation this messy. But one thing is clear: this case isn't just about Jay-Z or Sean Diddy Combs. It's shining an uncomfortable spotlight on the entertainment industry as a whole, pulling back the curtain on the murky dynamics of power, fame, and accountability.
It's like a short win. It's really much more of a loss for the legal team of Jay-Z and Diddy.
Why would you say that? Because the judge was kind of harsh to Jay-Z and Diddy in her response?
Yeah, this is sort of like, if a child asks you for something and you're trying to like teach them a lesson, you say, no, not right now. Go be good for a little while, then come back and ask me again.
Let's talk about the relationship between Jay-Z and Diddy, because that's a key part of the narrative here. These two aren't just casual acquaintances. They've been considered pillars of hip-hop culture for decades, often appearing side by side at major industry events, collaborating on projects, and even publicly praising each other. But now, that long-standing friendship is raising eyebrows. Critics are questioning whether their bond could have shielded them from scrutiny in the past. After all, both men have been surrounded by whispers of wrongdoing before, though nothing of this magnitude has ever stuck to Jay-Z. Could this be the moment where their reputations start to unravel?
No, I'm not surprised by the ruling because, as she cited in her order, there are very serious allegations about the danger that he potentially poses to other witnesses and the public at large. There are allegations that he has, been violent with others. He's also attempted to allegedly intimidate other witnesses and still contact witnesses while incarcerated.
Diddy's situation, of course, is far more precarious. He's already behind bars, facing a mountain of charges that paint a truly disturbing picture. But Jay-Z's involvement is what's turning this into a media firestorm. Unlike Diddy, Jay-Z has managed to maintain an image of sophistication and restraint, a businessman, a philanthropist, a family man. So when his name was added to Jane Doe's lawsuit, it felt like a seismic shift. Suddenly, the untouchable was being touched. And here's where things get even murkier. While Jay-Z's defense team is working overtime to poke holes in the timeline and details of Jane Doe's story, others are questioning whether this is just the tip of the iceberg. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, has been making the rounds in interviews, dropping bombshells about the culture of excess and secrecy that defined the era when these allegations are said to have occurred. Deal's stories, while unverified, paint a picture of an industry where boundaries were blurred and accountability was practically non-existent. He's even hinted that there are more powerful figures who could be implicated if people start digging deeper. Deal has also alleged that the environment surrounding Diddy and those in his circle was one where rules didn't seem to apply. In one interview, he claimed that Diddy and his entourage operated with an air of impunity, often throwing extravagant parties in private mansions that would leave staff horrified by the aftermath. Deal specifically mentioned an incident where a property manager reportedly discovered evidence of chaos after one such event, sparking rumors about what really went on behind closed doors. While these claims remain unproven, they've added fuel to the growing perception that this was an era defined by unchecked power and indulgence.
I don't think they are scared of him. I think they more so, they don't want him to embarrass their reputation and things that they've been known for.
What's even more intriguing is the speculation about how much Jay-Z knew during this time. While Deal hasn't explicitly accused him of participating in these alleged behaviors, he has hinted that Jay-Z was a frequent attendee at these gatherings. This has led some to wonder, was Jay-Z complicit in a culture of excess, or was he simply present without engaging in the same activities? The line between association and involvement is a thin one, and as more people come forward with their accounts, the public's curiosity about Jay-Z's role in this environment continues to grow. Adding another layer of complexity, insiders from the music industry have begun to quietly speak out, suggesting there's a long history of influential figures protecting one another from scrutiny. One anonymous source claimed it's not just about what happened back then. It's about what people knew and chose to ignore. This has sparked conversations about the broader implications of these allegations, with many questioning whether the industry has truly changed or if it's just gotten better at keeping secrets. As the case unfolds, the pressure to uncover the truth is mounting, not just for the accused, but for an entire system that has long operated in the shadows.
He is very, very dominant. Like, he wants to control the situation. He wants to control his inner circle. He wants to make everyone have a good time and enjoy his parties. And so, it is scary because you think, this person or possibly his social network or the people he's around could make or break your career.
One of Deal's most shocking claims involves a bizarre ritual that allegedly took place just before Diddy's infamous nightclub incident in 1999. According to Deal, Diddy met with a mysterious man in Central Park who performed some kind of ceremonial act involving smoke and a bird. Deal described watching in disbelief as Diddy threw the bird into the air, only for it to fall lifelessly to the ground. While this story has no direct connection to the current allegations, it's added an eerie layer to the public's perception of Diddy and, by extension, those in his orbit, including Jay-Z.
If you say the wrong thing or you complain or I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing, or, you know, when they're constantly asking, would you like to do drugs? And you're like, well, I don't do drugs. And they're like, well, why don't you do drugs?
But let's not forget the accuser at the heart of this case. Jane Doe's decision to come forward has sparked a wave of reactions, from admiration for her bravery to skepticism about her motives. In an interview, she admitted that there are inconsistencies in her story, but she maintains that the core of her allegations is true. Her attorney, Tony Busby, has fiercely defended her, accusing Jay-Z's team of trying to discredit her as a way to distract from the real issues. Busby has also pointed out that his client was a minor at the time of the alleged incident, which he says makes the discrepancies in her recollection understandable. Memories aren't perfect, he said in a recent statement. But that doesn't mean the events didn't happen. Jay-Z's legal team, however, sees things very differently. They've labeled the inconsistencies as fatal flaws, arguing that they render her entire account unreliable. Spiro has gone so far as to call the lawsuit a blatant attempt to extort money from his client, a sentiment echoed by Jay-Z himself in his public statements. In one particularly scathing comment, he accused Busby of exploiting the legal system for personal gain, saying, "This isn't about justice, it's about a payday." Meanwhile, the public is left to sift through the noise. Social media has become a battleground, with supporters and critics of Jay-Z and Diddy clashing over every new development. Hashtags like Justice for Jane Doe and Stand with Jay-Z are trending, reflecting the deep divide in public opinion. Some fans are adamant that these allegations are part of a broader pattern of silencing survivors, while others believe they're nothing more than a smear campaign orchestrated by opportunistic lawyers.
So, it's interesting because obviously this civil suit was coming for a while.
Yep.
And there was some talk between Busby and Jay-Z's lawyers. I think both Busby and Jay-Z's lawyers are really alphas.
Adding to the intrigue is the role of Beyonce, Jay-Z's wife and one of the most influential women in the world. While she has yet to make any public statements about the case, insiders claim she's standing firmly by her husband. According to sources close to the couple, Beyonce believes in Jay-Z's innocence and is focused on protecting their family from the fallout. However, her silence has sparked its own set of questions. Is she staying quiet to avoid drawing more attention to the allegations, or is she simply waiting for the dust to settle before speaking out?
A lot of times lawsuits are like playing poker. Like even when you feign, that you have strength, it could be that you have some weakness in your case. So Busby's never going to say that he doesn't have the evidence. I mean, Busby's always going to say he's got the evidence. He's always going to say, oh, we're going to look at multiple other people. We're going to do all this, because he wants to put that fear into that individual, because he thinks.
Then there's the question of how this case could impact Jay-Z's business empire. As the co-founder of Roc Nation and a billionaire entrepreneur, he has a lot more to lose than just his reputation. Already, there are whispers of corporate partners reevaluating their relationships with him, though no official statements have been made. If the case moves forward, the potential for depositions and court appearances could create even more challenges for a man who has built his brand on being above the fray. But let's not overlook the broader implications of this case. For years, the entertainment industry has been grappling with the reckoning as more and more people come forward to share their stories of mistreatment and abuse. This case, with its high-profile defendants and sensational allegations, could set a precedent for how similar cases are handled in the future. Will it encourage more people to speak out, or will it serve as a cautionary tale about the risks of taking on powerful figures?
Because what the judge is doing currently is balancing the public's need for information and the defense's need for information so they can prepare for trial, versus the effect that this will have on the alleged victim and her psyche. And obviously the world knows that as soon as her name is revealed, everyone is going to come down on her, from the media to her, to his attorneys, to the social media.
As we wait for the next chapter in this unfolding drama, one thing is certain: the stakes couldn't be higher. For Jay-Z, this is about more than just clearing his name. It's about preserving his name. It's about preserving his legacy as one of the most successful and respected figures in modern music. For Jane Doe, it's about seeking justice and holding those in power accountable. And for the public, it's about grappling with uncomfortable questions about the price of fame and the true cost of silence. So, what do you think? Is this just the tip of the iceberg for Jay-Z and Diddy, or will Jay-Z manage to come out unscathed? And what about the industry as a whole? Is this a wake-up call, or just another scandal that will fade away? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay tuned for more explosive celebrity news.